just execution up front. We just got to be able to, scheme-wise, physically blocking. We've got to be able to protect Cody better. I know that. And just they made plays too. And then we had the blocked field goal for I think a touchdown at 1.2. So there's just a lot of things to overcome in that game. We just weren't quite capable of doing that. The thing I am proud about our guys, they stuck together. They fought to the very end, and the thought in that locker room is that we got to learn from this game and have a quick turnaround with a positive mindset.
Now, can I start with the protection? And this has been a few games now. I think he's up to and look, he's had success pressuring everybody. But what can you do differently?
Yeah, there's a lot of there's definitely some things we can do differently. Whether we play with more tight ends, whether we play with more linemen, design things that are quicker hitting. Things that the defense is giving up underneath. There's definitely a ton of designs that you can do, and we've got to look at everything. Everything will be on the table this week because obviously we have not. That's been one failure for us for sure through the first 4 weeks of the season. We just haven't been good enough, and that's on us. We got to figure that out, and we will. That's going to be the mindset this week is to figure that out.
You watched what Cody went through last year. Are you worried, just for him health-wise?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want. Again, I got asked this a lot this week. Obviously, leading into this game about being hit by a quarterback. You don't want your quarterback hit ever. It's one hit can ruin a quarterback. One hit can knock him out for the season. So it's not that these 22 sacks they are about the piling up of the number. It's the hits and it's the hurries, and we've got to prevent those and do our best at it. And again, we'll look at everything on the table this week. We'll put all of our minds together and figure it out. That's going to be the first thing we do in the office is try to figure this out. And going forward, we got to feel like we can.
Really, like the first 2.5 quarters of this game, it seemed like everything was underneath. Like most attempts were within 5 yards. Was that what they were doing defensively? Was that just you wanting to get it out quick before he got hit? Like what? A
little bit of both. I mean, they're very good on second down to begin with. Second and long, it's not really easy to go against them. And so obviously some of the pressures early make you want to get the ball out of your hands and get it underneath. And then as the game progresses, you're down scores. You got to start pressing it down the field and all those things. But the designs were the designs going in. Obviously, we designed everything going off what the defense does do, and we felt confident with it, but ultimately just didn't execute.
Is Will getting involved enough, especially in the run game?
We called quite a few runs tonight. We had a lot of RPOs called, and we threw a lot of them. So, again, same thing. We need to start designing some things that are just going to be handoffs and handoffs only with no options. That probably would have been a couple of those calls. Maybe would have been better in certain spots tonight. But again, we got to get back to the drawing board this week and look at our identity on our team and figure out what we're going to be really good at and whatnot, and start practicing those things and figure some things out.
How difficult was that to navigate that kind of pressure?
They got good defense, right? And that's why they're the number 1 defense in the CFL right now, and they create pressure. Just a long night, and it doesn't help when you're down multiple scores and they can pin their ears back. And with a good defensive line like that, it just makes it difficult on our guys. Obviously, with the game closer, it's a little bit easier for us to mix and match play calls just so we can keep them guessing. But not when you're down multiple scores, especially late in the game. And, the fourth quarter was difficult because I felt like we were jumping back a lot just to try to get back into the game. So.
I know that early in the game, especially in the first half, everything was within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, right? Like all the attempts. Was that just what they were doing coverage-wise, or was it a result of protection, or taking through those decisions?
Yeah, they were playing off, which I expected them to come up and challenge our guys because we had some young guys, but they're really good at reading routes, and they were playing off, so we wanted to take what they could give us and sustain drives, keep their offense off the field, and felt like we did that for the most part. And then all of a sudden you get down a couple scores and you got to push the ball down the field. Felt like we caught some balls down the field, but obviously when you have a multiple score lead, you don't want to let anything over the top, so we started playing a lot of zone, and then you had to start taking some stuff underneath.
I asked Jason, I said, look, you watched Cody get beat up in Sask last year. Are you worried about his health? I saw a moment there in the fourth quarter where you got up limping a little bit. How are you feeling after all this?
I'm pretty good. I took a shot to my quad, just a normal game wear and tear. I was a little exhausted towards the end, right? You just get tired after 4 quarters, but that's part of football. I'm early in the season and continue to try and play myself into shape. But hopefully it doesn't happen where every game we're dropping back 40 times, right? Hopefully we can get the run game going with a great running back and stand back, and we can keep the defenses kind of guessing.
I know that some of that is RPO calls, but do you feel like Will got involved enough?
I felt like it was hard to get them involved. The way that they're doing on defense, they were a lot of edge pressure. They do a lot of pressure on the edge to stop the run, so they opened up some of the quick game throws while the run game. So we have a lot of run game called, but they can turn into passes at any moment, and it was just kind of what the defense was dictating. But I thought we moved the ball really well. Just our red zone efficiency was not good at all.
Cody, it was one of those games. I mean, I think the second play of the game, interception, turn for a touchdown, that's called back a penalty. You get punt, another penalty, call it back. It's one of those games, a couple plays early on could have changed the momentum.
Absolutely. I mean, a pick six to start the game changes the momentum of the whole game. But, I felt like, I don't know what the penalties were, but we took more than we should have versus a very good team that hurt starting field position, right? And the CFL is all about starting field position. And I don't know what the stats were on that, but I think that they had better starting field position. And so it just makes it a little bit more difficult to go down the field on a very good defense.